In this video, I proved that Shibai, the Otsutsuki God, was the one activating omnipotence, not Ada with Kawaki. I show you how he's actively engaged in the creation of this new reality from the God dimension. Since the introduction of gods in Boruto and their influence over the mortal realm, one question has arisen. What exactly does Shibai have to do with humans, and how much is he involved in the current plot? Some believe he is the main villain, while others believe he is a Hagoromo type of character who's going to assist Boruto in the fight against someone else. But keep in mind, Hagoromo wasn't stronger than Kaguya, so if Shibai is the support character, then the main villain must be stronger, or at least similarly strong, basically on a god level. So which of these two possibilities is the case doesn't really matter. If Shibai is not the main villain, then it could be a different Otsutsuki God, and if Shibai is not there to support Boruto with the knowledge from the fourth dimension, then maybe there will be another god. A good god, maybe not even an Otsutsuki. The much more important question to consider is whether a four-dimensional god, for example Shibai, is actively and at every given moment within certain limitations, manipulating the world of Naruto that is affecting planet Earth. Momoshiki has clearly stated that omnipotence is not a power a normal Otsutsuki has or could even use. He called it the Shinjutsu of all Shinjutsus. In fact, he even refers to it as a power that only an almighty god can wield. Here he didn't even mention Otsutsukis, it just happens that so far only Otsutsukis are able to ascend to godhood. At least as far as we are aware of. Maybe there's another race, maybe even Shinjus. And as we know, although humans call Otsutsukis gods, they are not. Gods are separated by an entire dimension. To become a god, that is the path to godhood, is called Otsutsuki will, the will to become a god. That's why the term god is so deeply connected to the Otsutsuki race. But make no mistake, if an Otsutsuki refers to gods, then they literally mean those who have already ascended, such as Shibai Otsutsuki, and not normal Otsutsukis like Momoshiki. This is very important. Momoshiki goes on calling it a programming language that gods use to create worlds. In fact, it's said to make anything real. Anything is everything, so anything you can imagine omnipotence will theoretically be able to make happen, including bringing Akebi back to life, for example. And this fact opens up a rabbit hole. Why isn't Amado just doing that? Think about it, isn't it odd that Amado has the greatest power in existence and intentionally implanted it into Ada, but then acts as if Ada is a burden to him, as if he can't control her? Then why create her to begin with? Because their existence, that is the existence of Ada and Demon, contrary to what he says, serves his goal to bring Akebi back. Or whatever his goal really is. Otherwise it wouldn't make any sense, so the idea was and always has been to use omnipotence within Konoha together with Kawaki in a certain way. But then why not to bring Akebi back directly? Essentially there are only two possibilities why Amado didn't use omnipotence for Akebi. Either she is not real and the goal is to bring Shibai back, in which case Amado is likely the second missing Otsutsuki, that is Shibai's partner, or someone else being manipulated, it doesn't really matter. Or, and this is the second possibility, he can't bring her back because he can't control omnipotence. Unless there is someone who does have control and works with Amado within certain restrictions, but who, for some reason, doesn't grant Amado the gift to bring his daughter back directly. So the idea is that neither Ada nor Kawaki triggered the ability, but the ability triggered itself because of certain conditions that Kawaki and Ada fulfilled, serving whoever triggered omnipotence, for example Shibai. And it's a fact that it was confirmed Ada is a slave to her own ability. She can't control it because she's not a god. The reason why Shibai would create the charm ability is because that way Ada, and with that omnipotence, would be physically protected. Which obviously seems to be important given the fact that Demon literally exists to protect her. Her subconscious desire to be loved triggers omnipotence against her own will, proving therefore that she's not in control and thus couldn't have been the one who initiated the activation with Kawaki, and yet it looked like she was actively involved. This is contradictory to the idea that she can't even stop omnipotence from making everyone fall in love with her. And it's also evident that she wanted to stop Kawaki but couldn't, neither did it look like Kawaki was actively doing anything. He didn't even notice anything, all he did was having a wish. What if Ada is just a physical body that holds power, while Kawaki is somehow connected to Shibai, allowing him to fulfill Kawaki's wish, as if it is his own, because of the connection. It just happens that Kawaki's wish seems to serve Shibai's interest, likely because Boruto has the Jogan and is therefore somehow involved in Shibai's plan. Separating Boruto seems to be beneficial for some reason. So what if Shibai can trigger omnipotence, but to do that on the physical plane of existence, he must be connected to a living being, in this case Ada, and through Ada he can then trigger omnipotence based on the desire of whoever is connected to Shibai. But whether the ability will be triggered remains under his control, similar to how Boruto's Jogan, which could likely be Shibai's, was often triggered outside his control, at least in the anime. So maybe Shibai is really triggering abilities and we don't know it because we can't perceive it. Naturally, no one would have a true genuine desire to bring Shibai back, so that wouldn't work, because it seems that the desire must truly come from your heart. However, with the help of Amado, certain conditions can be created so that Amado can then bring Shibai back, who can then bring Akebi back. Why isn't Shibai bringing Akebi back directly? Because then Amado wouldn't have Shibai anymore. So all this time Amado could be trying to revive Shibai through Kawaki and his karma. Maybe that's why Kawaki is resonating with Boruto because of the Jogan, as it possibly belongs to Shibai. Maybe this is why they can feel each other, which could also be the reason why he could trigger omnipotence, because it also belongs to Shibai. But every time it wasn't really Kawaki resonating with Boruto or activating omnipotence, it was Shibai. If you have trouble understanding why Shibai should be able to trigger his own abilities from a higher dimension, then you need to understand how dimensions work. Take for example an old game console. It's a three-dimensional object that experiences its purpose in two-dimensional games. So it experiences a two-dimensional life, so to speak. It does not understand the idea of multiple worlds and how they change. In order to change its world, a three-dimensional being, for example a human, would have to manipulate the three-dimensional world by changing the physical game, in order for the console to experience a different two-dimensional life. But it doesn't understand how that happened, it can't even perceive or imagine how that happens. In that example, we humans are gods like Shibai, and the characters in the video game are the humans in Boruto. Omnipotence is like a certain cheat code, but in order to use the codes, one must interact with the characters in the game in a very specific way. And so it could be that Shibai also is forced to interact with the people of the specific world. His plan is likely to return, and he uses Amado somehow to create those conditions for his return. So what do you think of this idea? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more Boruto content, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated for more videos. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!